Speaking of the break, I might as well just go into Rachel then.
Yeah.
Now, she was a fun one because we debated for a long time.
I was mad because Ryan originally was like, I think Rachel's a 9, and I was like, Rachel is probably, well, I love Phoebe as much as I do. Rachel is definitely one of the most annoying characters on television to me.
So ever. Because you're a 9. Because you didn't want her to be a 9.
Exactly. I was like, she is a misrepresentation of the 9s. But for, public opinion, we decided between a 9 or a 3 to throw on the votes because, I could see her being a 9, honestly, with like the wing 1 and the wing 8 totally there.
Mm-hmm.
But what did we decide to go with?
I tried to convince you.
Collectively we decided no.
Because being a 3 myself, I saw a lot of 3 tendencies in her.
Similar.
And so you were making the case for the 9, I was making the case for a 3.
No. You were making the case for a 9. I was making the case for a 3.
Originally.
Yes.
And then you convinced me of a 3.
Yes.
And then you wanted to go to a 9 at one point. I said, no, it's a 3. So we kind of flip-flopped a little bit.
That's true, yeah.
But so when you're making the case for a 3, I jumped on board with that because I began to realize, 3s are obviously very driven, very motivated.
Yeah.
And I looked more at her inner core motivation.
Well, I think that's
everything.
The key, is always looking at the inner motivation.
Yeah, and for her, she had to prove herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she found her worth, especially with her father throughout all those episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
Of wanting to prove her worth and her love. And as a 3, coming from a 3 myself, that is so spot on that, we to feel worthy and to feel the love, we have to perform and we have to do certain things. So for her, in the very beginning, season 1, she walks in there, she throws away, at the altar her mirrors that she's going to have, and she doesn't have a job, and so she's working at the coffee shop.
Which, really quick, was a really non-3 thing to do because she was in stress.
Yes.
So she went to her 9.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that, she began to climb higher and higher. She went to work in fashion. And then you can always, the way she dresses, a 3 wants to present herself as an image like no other. Like they've got to have everything put together. And so I began to think of the things that she likes. She's got expensive taste. Not that only 3s are like that, but we tend to have more expensive taste.
Yeah, this is true.
And then began to look at the stresses and securities for her. Mm-hmm. And when we were talking about, well, is she possibly a 9? I made the point, well, she acts like a 9 a lot because when she gets stressed, she goes to a 9.
And she's stressed a lot.
And she gets stressed a lot.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that a little bit too. But, when she gets into that stressed mode, she can't make decisions. That's why I thought originally she was a 9 because I'm thinking, whenever she's asked, where do they want to go eat? What do they want to do? She's like, I don't know. You just pick, which is a classic 9 thing to do.
Yeah, totally. I can relate with that. But that wasn't really her core motivation. Was not to be the peacemaker.
No, it wasn't. Right.
And that's
just
where
when she got
that
into
fell apart
stress.
entirely. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's a good point. Yeah. She's not the peacemaker really at all in all of that. And then when she gets to become a healthy 6, when she goes into that security place, she's all about making other people's lives better. Mm-hmm. She detaches from her own personal gain, and she goes into trying to make and she's very loyal as well, which is a healthy thing for a 6. Mm-hmm. And so that's mainly why we typed her as a 3.
I think we saw a lot of that grow a lot from seasons like 5 through 10, as opposed to seasons 1 through 5.
Yes.
Which is definitely noted, whether that's in just like a maturity thing or with her growing. I feel like with these characters, you technically grow up with them. Mm-hmm. But that was definitely something I've seen more in the later seasons.
Absolutely, yeah. It's more like the first half of the 10 seasons. It's about her and what she's all about and trying to really find herself. Yeah. And to prove herself. And then she gets to a place where she's becoming more of a healthy 3.
She doesn't feel like she needs to prove herself quite so much anymore. Yeah.
Even in conversations that she has with her dad and later on in those episodes, So that's the long and short of Rachel right there on why we...
What wing would you say she is?
I think she's a wing 2.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. I think she's definitely a wing 2.
She's all about the relationship.
She is.
She's not really an emotionally driven person.
No.
Except for when she's mad.
Yes. But yeah, definitely I think a 2 because she likes to she thinks a lot about people and how decisions that she makes would affect her relationship with people.
Right.
So yeah. I think that.
Cool.
So
wow, we agreed on that one.
Wow.
Right off the gate.
Whatever.